Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling something that literally dictates your livelihood, your resume. We're pulling directly from some incredible source docs, like the Effective Resume Writing Guide and Resume Rewired, to build you a step-by-step checklist to survive this crazy modern hiring landscape. And hey, if you want extra updated resources on this, make sure to check out Commercewise.net. So go ahead and grab your current resume, because we're about to rewire it from top to bottom. Let's kick things off with a number that might actually shock you: 57%. According to recent recruiting data, 57% of recruiters actually prefer a two-page resume over a single page, as long as that extra space is packed with relevant, well-rounded content. I know, right? It completely shatters that old-school one-page-only rule that's been drilled into our heads for decades. The reality here is, if you've got valuable projects, volunteer work, or skills to show off, do not be afraid to use the real estate to tell your full professional story. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for The Explainer. First, we'll look at the modern resume reality. Then, beating the bots with formatting. Next, the top third checklist, followed by building better bullets for your experience. And finally, we'll wrap up with a final inspection checklist.
All right, Section 1, the modern resume reality, and navigating those AI gatekeepers.
So before your resume ever reaches an actual human being, it has to pass through a gauntlet of software gatekeepers. If you don't know how they read your document, honestly, you've lost the game before it even begins. We're talking about the Applicant Tracking System, or ATS. Think of it like a robotic bouncer at the door of your absolute dream job. When you hit submit, this ATS scans your document for specific keywords, job titles, and standard formatting. If you've got an overly complicated layout or you're missing the exact skills from the job description, boom, the ATS drops you straight into the infamous resume black hole and you are instantly rejected. No human eyes will ever see it. Which brings us to Section 2, beating the bots by setting the foundation. Look, before we even stress about the brilliant words you're going to write, we absolutely have to make sure this software algorithm can actually read the document. On the left, we've got that old, highly designed aesthetic. You know the one: multiple columns, fancy tables, maybe a headshot or some slick graphic bars showing your skill levels. Now, a human graphic designer might love that, but the ATS, it absolutely hates it. The software just reads left to right, top to bottom. When it hits multiple columns or tables, your text gets completely scrambled into gibberish. But on the right, you see the modern ATS-friendly format. It's clean, it's single column, and it uses simple standard headings. That's what we want. So here is your definitive format survival checklist. First up, stick to that single column layout. Set your margins to a consistent 1 inch all the way around. Use a standard, clean, sans serif font. Think Calibri or Arial. Don't try to get creative with your section headings, okay? Use traditional terms like work experience and education, because the bot is literally programmed to look for those exact words. And please, listen to me on this next point. Take all of your contact info out of the header or footer fields. A lot of ATS parsers completely ignore the header zone, meaning you could submit a gorgeous resume with zero way for them to call or email you. Finally, always save your document as a .docx or a text-selectable PDF. Moving right along to Section 3, the top third checklist, and hooking the human reader. Okay, so once a real, live, human recruiter actually gets their hands on your document, they're going to skim it in a matter of seconds. That means the top portion of page 1 is the most valuable real estate you have. Now, what's really interesting about this is how the strategy of that opening paragraph has fundamentally changed. On the left, we have the super outdated objective statement. You know, it usually says something like, seeking a challenging position where I can use my skills. Notice how that's all about what the candidate wants. Well, recruiters don't care about what you want right now. They care about what you can do for them. That's why we've totally shifted to the professional summary on the right. It's an immediate declaration of value. Digital marketing specialist with 5+ years driving 30% plus online growth. See the difference? It's concrete, it's packed with keywords, and it proves your worth instantly. Think of it like this. Your professional summary is the marquee and the trailer of your career movie. It's a tight 2 to 4 sentence snapshot that acts as your elevator pitch. You want to weave the absolute top skills from the job description right in there, so the recruiter realizes immediately, wow, this is the perfect fit, and feels compelled to keep reading. And here's a pro tip straight from our source text. Write this summary last. Build the rest of your document first so you know exactly which of your greatest hits you want to feature right at the top. All right, let's look at your top third checklist. Start by cleaning up your contact info. Drop your physical street address, nobody needs it, just your city and state, a professional email, your phone number, and a custom LinkedIn URL.
Next, right below that vibrant new professional summary we just talked about, add a dedicated skills section. Remember, recruiters are actively hunting for a specific checklist of requirements. Put your hard technical skills and your soft interpersonal skills right here at the very top. If the job description specifically asks for project management and Salesforce, you make absolutely sure those exact words are sitting front and center in this section.
Now for Section 4, experience and building better bullets.
This right here is the beating heart of your resume, and it requires a massive mental shift in how we write. We are no longer writing job descriptions, folks. We are writing achievement records. Look at the passive duty on the left, responsible for training new hires. Okay, that tells me what you were supposed to do, but it doesn't tell me if you were actually any good at it. It's just kind of boring. Now, contrast that with the active achievement on the right. Trained 30 new hires over 12 months, reducing the average onboarding cycle by 25%. Boom. You just quantified the scale of your work, and you proved that your actions actually delivered a highly beneficial outcome for the business. To consistently write these active achievements, you really need a framework. Enter the incredibly powerful STAR method. It stands for situation, task, action, and result. You briefly outline the context or the problem, state the strong, active steps you took, and, this is the most important part, you end with the measurable result. Like, how did the company actually benefit? Using this methodology totally transforms a dry, passive bullet point into a compelling, outcome-oriented story of success.
Now, if the STAR method feels a bit too long for a single resume line, our sources offer a fantastic condensed alternative, the CAR method. Challenge, action, result. What was the inefficiency or risk? What dynamic, active steps did you take? And what was the quantifiable proof of your success? We're talking numbers, percentages, or dollars. Both of these methods essentially force you to focus entirely on your impact rather than just listing out basic chores.
And if you really want to stress test your bullets, you've got to use the So What framework. It's brutal, but it is a brilliant self-editing technique. Try reading a draft bullet point on your resume out loud and just ask yourself, so what? If your bullet says, manage the company's social media account, well, so what? Did follower engagement go up? Did you drive more sales? If you literally cannot answer that so what with a measurable result or a positive outcome, I'm telling you, that bullet point is incomplete, and it needs a rewrite.
So let's lock in the Better Bullets checklist. First, make sure every single bullet relates directly to the job you want. Second, arrange them in order of importance. You want your absolute strongest achievement right at the top of that job entry. Third, start every bullet with a strong action verb. Use words like initiated, launched, or optimized. Do not use helped with. Fourth, show those results with hard data. And finally, keep it tight. Limit your bullets to your most impactful accomplishments. We want punchy metrics, not wordy essays.
Almost there. Section 5, the final inspection checklist. Getting ready for deployment.
Okay, your content is strong, you've beaten the bots, but before you smash that submit button, we have to do a visual and technical polish just to make sure you look like the consummate professional you are. Have you ever heard of the F pattern? This is the proven, predictable eye pattern that recruiters use when they scan a document. They read horizontally across the top, which is exactly why our summary and skills are sitting right there. Then they drop down and scan vertically along the left margin. Because of this natural F pattern, you absolutely must place your most critical information, like bolded job titles, strong action verbs, and clear dates anchored along that visual path so they literally cannot be missed. Here is your final inspection checklist. Make sure your section headings really pop. Use a 14 to 16 point bold uppercase font. Keep your body text totally legible at 10 to 12 point. Triple check every single date on your resume. They must be formatted consistently throughout, like a 2-digit month and 4-digit year. Otherwise, that parsing software gets deeply confused. Proofread ruthlessly. I literally cannot stress this enough. One single typo undermines your professional credibility and can get you eliminated instantly. Strip out any confusing internal jargon or acronyms. And lastly, click every single hyperlink on the page to make absolutely sure your email and LinkedIn actually work.
So the crucial point is really summarized beautifully in this quote drawn from our sources. Every bullet point should answer the question, what mission did you accomplish and what was the outcome? Your modern resume is not just a list of chores you are assigned to do. It is a strategic, data-driven record of the missions you successfully accomplished. Which leaves us with one final question for you. Is your resume ready for the real world? Now that you know exactly how the ATS bots read your formatting, how human recruiters skim that top third, and how to transform your passive duties into quantified achievements, it's time to take action. Go grab your resume, apply these checklists, and show them exactly what you're worth.
And don't forget to check out commercewise.net for extra resources to help you along the way. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.